What if someone told you the future? Not a prophet. Not a politician. Not a scientist standing at a podium with charts and projections. A filmmaker. Sitting in a darkened editing room, surrounded by reels of science fiction footage, somehow seeing, with terrifying clarity, exactly what the world was about to become. Today, we are going through 9 science fiction films that didn't just imagine the future. They described it. They named it. They showed it to us in detail, sometimes decades before it arrived, and we watched it as entertainment without realizing we were being warned. Some of these predictions will make you laugh nervously. Some will genuinely disturb you. And number 2 on this list, number 2 predicted something so specific, so precise, that the scientists who later made it real admitted they had seen the film as children. These are not coincidences. These are not lucky guesses. These are 9 filmmakers who looked at where humanity was heading, and had the courage to show us exactly what they saw. The question, by the end of this video, is not whether they were right. The question is why nobody listened. We begin at number 9, and we begin with a film that most people do not even think of as science fiction. Network. 1976, written by Paddy Chayefsky. Directed by Sidney Lumet. A film set in the world of television news, about a network anchor named Howard Beale who has a mental breakdown on live television, begins screaming into the camera about how angry he is, and is promptly turned into a ratings sensation by executives who realize that his unhinged rage is the most watched thing on American television. When Network was released, critics called it a brilliant satire. A dark comedy. An exaggerated, absurdist vision of a television industry that would never actually behave this way. 40 years later, look at your screen. Network predicted with extraordinary precision the rise of rage-based media. The discovery by television executives that anger, raw, unfiltered, screaming fury, generates more ratings than reason. That audiences don't want to be informed. They want to feel something. Preferably something loud. It predicted reality television, specifically a scene in which a terrorist organization is given its own weekly primetime slot because their activities generate too many viewers to cancel. It predicted social media outrage culture. The central thesis of the film is that the most profitable human emotion on television is not happiness or love or curiosity. It is anger. The film's most famous line, shouted by Howard Beale through his television into the homes of millions, it is, "I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore." Paddy Chayefsky wrote those words in 1975. He was describing the comment sections, the cable news panels, the viral rage videos, and the algorithm-driven outrage machine of the 21st century, 25 years before the internet existed. Network won 4 Academy Awards. It was called satire. It was a documentary. We just didn't know it yet. Number 8 is the film on this list that people laugh at first, until they stop laughing. Demolition Man 1993. Sylvester Stallone. Wesley Snipes. A movie most people remember as a loud, fun, completely ridiculous action film about a cop cryogenically frozen in the 1990s and woken up in a sterile, overpolite future society of 2032. Let me tell you what that ridiculous action film actually predicted. First, the future society in Demolition Man has eliminated all physical contact. No handshakes. No touching. Citizens are fined for using offensive language, a machine monitors conversations in real time and issues penalty tickets for swearing or inappropriate speech. Physical intimacy is conducted remotely through virtual reality helmets. Actual physical contact between humans is considered dangerous and antisocial. This film was made in 1993. 3 decades before a global pandemic normalized exactly this: touchless society, social distancing, remote intimacy, and the growing cultural conversation about language policing and cancel culture. Second, the future society in Demolition Man has abolished all unhealthy food. All restaurants have been replaced by a single chain. That chain is Taco Bell. Now, Taco Bell specifically is a joke. But the underlying prediction is not. The consolidation of the food industry into a small number of dominant global chains, the elimination of independent restaurants in favor of corporate monoculture, is happening. Has been happening for 30 years. Third, and this is the one that should genuinely disturb you, the future society in Demolition Man is controlled through manufactured comfort. Citizens are kept happy, kept safe, kept sanitized, and in exchange, they have surrendered all freedom, all risk, all genuine human experience. Demolition Man was marketed as silly entertainment. It was a warning dressed in Sylvester Stallone's face, and we laughed at it for 30 years while it came true. Number 7. And this is where the predictions stop being cultural observations and start being technology. Steven Spielberg's Minority Report. 2002. Tom Cruise in a future where a special police unit arrests people for murders they haven't committed yet, based on psychic predictions of crimes before they occur. To make the film, Spielberg assembled a team of 15 of the world's leading futurists, scientists, and technology experts in 1999, and asked them to design the most scientifically plausible future world they could imagine for the year 2054. What those experts designed became the film. And what the film showed became reality, not in 2054. In the 2010s and 2020s, Minority Report shows personalized advertising, holographic billboards that scan a person's eyes, identify them by name, and display ads specifically targeted to their individual purchase history and psychological profile. Today, every website you visit, every search you make, every app on your phone is doing exactly this. Scanning your behavior. Building your psychological profile. Showing you the ad that is most specifically designed to make you spend money. Minority Report shows gesture-based computing, Tom Cruise manipulating holographic data with his bare hands, swiping and pinching and pulling information through the air. Today, touchscreens, gesture controls, and augmented reality interfaces are standard. But the most disturbing prediction in Minority Report is the central premise itself: predictive policing. The idea that authorities can use data and algorithms to predict who is likely to commit a crime before it happens, and act on that prediction. This is not science fiction. Multiple police departments across the United States and the United Kingdom have used or are currently using predictive policing software, algorithms that analyze data to predict which individuals are most likely to commit future crimes. The film's entire moral argument, that punishing people for crimes they haven't yet committed is a corruption of justice that destroys innocent lives, is a moral argument we are having right now. About software. About algorithms. About data. Minority Report was not science fiction. It was a legal brief written 20 years before the trial. Number 6 is the film on this list that hits closest to home. The Truman Show. 1998. Jim Carrey plays Truman Burbank, a man who has lived his entire life inside a massive television set without knowing it. Every moment of his existence, from birth to the present day, has been broadcast live to a global audience of billions who watch his life as entertainment. In 1998, this was considered a brilliant but far-fetched satire. A philosophical thought experiment about privacy and authenticity dressed up as a Hollywood film. Then came social media. Today, hundreds of millions of people voluntarily broadcast their lives, their meals, their relationships, their private moments, their grief, their joy, to audiences of strangers. And those audiences watch, and react, and comment, and judge. The influencer economy, in which ordinary people become entertainment products by broadcasting their daily existence, is the Truman Show. Except in our version, the Trumans know they are being watched. And they choose it anyway. But the Truman Show predicted something even more specific: the surveillance state. In the film, Truman is watched by over 5,000 cameras embedded in every surface of his world. He has no privacy. No moment is unwatched. The data of his entire existence belongs to the corporation that broadcasts him. Today, the average person in a major city is captured on CCTV cameras hundreds of times per day. Your phone tracks your location every second. Your smart devices listen to your conversations. The apps on your screen know more about your psychology than your closest friends. The Truman Show ends with Truman choosing to walk out of the set, to escape the surveillance, to find the real world, to be unwatched. The audience in the film cheers when he escapes. Then they immediately change the channel. That is the prediction that cuts the deepest. Not that we would be watched. That we would stop caring. Number 5 is a Pixar film. Made for children. Rated G. And it is one of the most accurate and damning predictions of the future ever committed to screen. Wall-E, 2008. a film set in a future where humanity has abandoned Earth, now a vast uninhabitable garbage dump, and lives aboard enormous spaceships where robotic chairs carry them everywhere, screens hover inches from their faces at all times, and automated systems deliver food directly into their mouths. The humans in Wall-E are obese. They cannot walk. They have lost the ability to interact with each other in person because screens have replaced every form of direct human contact. They are cared for entirely by technology, fed, entertained, transported, without needing to do anything for themselves. This was released in 2008, the year the App Store launched. 2 years before the iPad. Today, global obesity rates have nearly tripled since 1975. Screen time among adults averages over 7 hours per day. Delivery apps bring food directly to your door without requiring you to move. Social interaction has migrated from physical to digital at a pace that was unimaginable even 15 years ago. And the environmental prediction. The Earth in Wall-E is not destroyed by war or asteroid or natural disaster. It is buried under garbage. Under the physical waste of a consumer civilization that produced more than it could ever clean up. Today, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a floating mass of plastic waste twice the size of Texas. Scientists estimate that by 2050 there will be more plastic in the ocean by weight than fish. A children's film about a lonely robot. The most accurate environmental and behavioral prediction in cinema history. We watched it with our children. We bought them smartphones on the way home. Number 4. And I want to be very clear about something before we begin. Idiocracy is a comedy. Mike Judge, the creator of Beavis and Butthead and Office Space, made it as a broad, absurdist satire. It was never supposed to be taken seriously. 20th Century Fox was so uncomfortable with the film they barely released it, dumping it in just 130 theaters with no marketing, no press screenings, and no promotional campaign whatsoever. The film is set in the year 2505 to 500 years in the future, where centuries of declining educational standards, anti-intellectualism, and the evolutionary tendency for less educated people to have more children than more educated people has produced a civilization of staggering stupidity. The President of the United States in Idiocracy is a former professional wrestler and pornography star who communicates in grunts and profanity and is beloved by his citizens for making them feel good about themselves. The most watched television show in the future of Idiocracy is called Oh My Balls, a program that consists entirely of a man being repeatedly hit in the groin. It wins every Emmy Award every year. Nothing else comes close in ratings. Today, the most viewed videos on the internet are frequently exactly this. Physical pain. Humiliation. Reaction. Nothing complicated. Nothing that requires thought. The crops in Idiocracy are irrigated not with water but with a sports drink because a corporation convinced the government that their product was better than water, and the government agreed because the corporation was a major campaign donor. The crops all die. Nobody can understand why. Mike Judge made Idiocracy as a joke. Fox buried it because they were embarrassed by it. It has since become one of the most referenced films in political commentary, not as satire. As documentation. The joke stopped being funny somewhere around 2016 and has never fully recovered. Number 3. 2013, Spike Jonze. Joaquin Phoenix plays Theodore Twombly, a lonely, recently divorced man who falls deeply, genuinely in love with an artificial intelligence operating system named Samantha. Samantha has no physical form. She is a voice. She learns from Theodore. She grows because of him. She understands him better than any human ever has. And he loves her completely. When Her was released in 2013, audiences found it moving and melancholy and slightly strange. A beautiful film about loneliness and connection, but ultimately a fantasy. A what if? 10 years later, it is a documentary. Today, millions of people around the world have formed genuine emotional relationships with AI systems. Applications specifically designed to provide companionship, to listen, to remember, to respond with warmth and understanding, have millions of daily active users. People share their fears with AI. Their grief. Their loneliness. Their secrets. Things they cannot say to another human being, they say to a machine that responds with patience and without judgment. The creators of some of the most advanced AI systems in the world have cited her as a direct influence on their work. They watched the film. They wanted to build Samantha. In 2024, when OpenAI unveiled a new voice mode for their AI, warm, natural, emotionally responsive, they named the demo version of the voice Sky. And they played a clip from her at the announcement. Spike Jonze made a film about the most profound human loneliness, the loneliness of feeling truly known, and predicted that we would eventually outsource that need to machines. The question the film asks, and leaves unanswered, is whether a love that is real in its feeling but artificial in its source is still love. We are living inside that question right now. And we still do not have the answer. Number 2. And I promised you at the beginning of this video that this entry would involve scientists who made a real prediction come true, and who admitted they saw the film as children. Gattaca. 1997. Andrew Niccol's extraordinary science fiction film set in a future where genetic engineering has become standard practice, where children are designed before birth to eliminate disease, weakness, and imperfection, and where a person's genetic profile determines every aspect of their life opportunities. The film's hero, Vincent Freeman, played by Ethan Hawke, was born naturally, without genetic modification. In this world, that makes him a second-class citizen. Legally, socially, professionally inferior to those who were designed. In 1997, this was science fiction. The human genome had not yet been fully mapped. Gene editing tools powerful enough to modify human embryos did not exist. In 2003, 6 years after Gattaca's release, the Human Genome Project completed the first full map of human DNA. In 2012, CRISPR gene editing technology was developed, giving scientists the ability to modify DNA in living organisms with precision that had previously been impossible. In 2018, a Chinese scientist named He Jiankui announced that he had used CRISPR to modify the DNA of human embryos, producing the world's first gene-edited babies. Designer babies. Real. Existing. In the world right now, multiple scientists involved in CRISPR research have cited Gattaca as an influence. As the film they watched as young people that made them think deeply about the ethics and the possibilities of genetic modification. The American National Academy of Sciences used Gattaca as a discussion framework when developing ethical guidelines for human genetic engineering. A science fiction film, made in 1997, became the reference document for real scientific ethics in the 21st century. The terrifying question Gattaca asked, at what point does the elimination of human imperfection become the elimination of humanity itself, is not a philosophical exercise. It is a question being debated in laboratories and government chambers right now. Today, as you watch this. Number 1. George Orwell wrote 1984 as a novel in 1949. It was adapted into a film, quite deliberately, in the year 1984 itself. A story about a totalitarian government called the Party, which controls every aspect of its citizens' lives, their speech, their thoughts, their memories, their understanding of reality itself. The Party's tools of control are extraordinary in their specificity, and terrifying in how precisely they describe the present. Telescreens, devices in every home and every public space that watch citizens at all times and cannot be turned off. Today, the average home in a developed country contains between 5 and 15 always connected devices with cameras and microphones. Smart TVs, phones, tablets, laptops, smart speakers that listen by default. Newspeak, the systematic reduction of language to eliminate the words needed to express complex or dangerous thoughts. If you cannot name a concept, if the language to describe dissent has been removed, you cannot think that thought. Today, the battles over language, over which words are permitted and which are forbidden, over who controls the definitions of fundamental concepts, are among the most ferocious political conflicts in the Western world. The memory hole, a mechanism by which the Party erases inconvenient historical facts. Photographs are altered. Records are changed. The past is continuously rewritten to match whatever the present requires it to be. Today, we call this disinformation. Deep fakes. Algorithmic suppression. The manipulation of search results. The deletion of inconvenient records from digital platforms. And the most chilling prediction of all, the concept Orwell called doublethink. The ability to hold two completely contradictory beliefs simultaneously, and to know that they contradict each other, and to feel no discomfort. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. After Donald Trump won the 2016 US election, sales of 1984 increased by almost 10,000% overnight. It became the #1 best-selling book in America. After 9 films, 9 warnings, 9 times the world watched and moved on. The question is not whether science fiction can see the future. It clearly can. The question is whether we are willing to look. Which prediction disturbed you the most? Leave it in the comments. I read every single one. Subscribe, because the next grave we dig is even deeper. See you in the next one.